Good evening, race fans, and welcome back here to the CIL, the Collegiate iRacing League, here on Twitch and YouTube for you here tonight. And boy, we got a good one for you on tap. It's the CIL Challenge Series as we're in between seasons 2 and 3, getting ready to rock and roll for season 3 here in a couple of weeks. We got some challenge racing tonight, so no points on the line. And it's actually kind of a special race we got for you. We have the two guys who usually join me up in the booth. You see them right there on your screen right now. They're actually out on track as we speak. So John Price and Josh Crane are going to be joining us throughout the broadcast to give us a little insight what it's like in car. But for the meantime, you're stuck with me, Jarrett, up here in the booth, going to take you through this little challenge race. And it's a fun little race. It's a lot different than things we've done here on the CIL in the past. So if you're familiar with the CIL, it's going to be a little different here tonight. Instead of that 1 hour race, we got a little heat racing action for you as well. So it's going to be a good time. So you see it right there, the Price Pin-iata party, or Pin-iata party if you so choose, part of the CIL Challenge Series here on the College iRacing League Network. So we're here at Road America out in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. And you see the track layout right there. We're doing the full layout here at Road America, and it's a good one. 3.98 miles long and lots of drafting opportunities for these MX-5 Cup cars that will be racing in tonight. So Road America has been a host to pretty much every North American racing series, beginning with SCCA in the 1950s, IMSA GT cars in the 70s. NASCAR even ran a couple times way back in 1956, and now obviously the cars go there as well. Pretty good looking thing that they got going on out at Road America. You might notice the cars look a little bit different as well. Some of these cars that we see out on track, we're looking at John Price right now. Every single car exactly the same. We're doing MX-5 Cup cars. The setups are they are open, so they can set up the car a little bit different or the same, but a lot of the things unable to be changed. One thing that was mentioned in practice, brake bias. So how much brake is on those forward tires or those backward tires, that's not able to be changed. So a lot of these Mazda Cup cars, it's pretty much spec racing. So a lot is going to be how good are each of these drivers. So a lot on tap for you. You see all the cars out there right now. They're actually group qualifying as we speak. So kind of a little bit of strategy here. Since there's group qualifying, plenty of drafting opportunity. You want to get out there with a drafting buddy. So you can see right here, Jared Kaler and Austin Farr working together a little bit. A couple interesting paint schemes as well. I know Scott Ratliff is running his school-specific paint scheme, but there'll be a lot without that. So we'll try and keep you abreast of all these drivers. A lot of the drivers you've seen in the CIL before. Jared Kaler, Austin Farr, two staples of the Oval League right there. So just about 10 minutes into this qualifying session as we get set to rock and roll. Just about 19 cars will take the green flag here tonight. And after this qualifying session finishes, we're going to do our first heat race. So a little bit different than we've done in the past here on the CIL, and this is just specifically for this challenge. There's going to be a 25-minute race before that main race, the feature race. So we're going to get locked and loaded from this qualifying run, which again is group qualifying, all the cars out on the track at the same time. We'll get locked and loaded for a heat race where all the cars will be out on track. They'll race, and that finishing order of the first heat race will be inverted for the feature race. So if a driver wins that heat race, they will now start dead last in the second race. So pretty interesting stuff going on, and it is going to put a little maybe gamesmanship into this race. So that's going to be exciting to watch how that plays out in terms of winning that heat or maybe laying back if you're in the middle of the pack. We'll see if guys game it or if guys just really go for the win. As you see Jared Kaler really go for it, dives deep inside, and these MX-5 Cup cars do have the new damage model as well. So we'll get to see some sheet metal maybe hanging off these cars by the end of the night. Quick look through the field. A couple new names as well that you'll see plenty of here in Season 3. Kyle Bonin, one of them from Clemson University, rocking the number 26 car here tonight. Looking to have a good run here in the MX-5 Cup cars. So as qualifying continues here, John, going to join us up in the booth real quick. And John, it looks like you kind of got hung out by yourself a little bit there. So we wanted to talk to you about the group qualifying and how important it is with drafting in these cars, and what better way to ask than to ask the man himself.
Yeah, it's incredibly important. I mean, you can see Sean Campbell's lap time that came from basically following me around that whole lap. I was giving him a nice little tow, and now I'm trying to do the same thing with Jeremy Rogers in front of me, though it's not going quite so well this lap. But yeah, it's worth a lot of time over the course of a lap, close to, a second and a half, even 2 seconds in some cases. So, yeah, it's the name of the game. Positioning is very critical in qualifying, Jarrett.
Yeah, and I took the viewers through the heat race. What's your strategy for the heat race? Because we know the field gets inverted at the end of that. Are you just going for the win and not worrying about it, or what's
Absolutely.
your play there?
Yeah, I got to go for the win at any opportunity. I think with the inversion and the way that Road America is, it's not particularly hard to pass. So I'm not too terribly worried about potentially starting from the back in the second heat race if it were to come to that. So yeah, I think that's the strategy. You got to go for the points where they're on the table. Even though this isn't a championship round and I'm usually up in the booth commentating with you, it's nice to be back out here with these guys and racing a little bit. But yeah, got to go for that win whenever it's on the table.
Definitely. Well, looking forward to it, and we'll let you get to this lap here.
All right, appreciate it.
So that's John Price right there. Like you said, normally up here in the booth with us, but now out on the track here tonight. And he's getting a very good tow from right in front of him in that Las Vegas car. That is going to be Jeremy Rogers in the number 7 machine just in front of him. You see it. Bumpers locked up as they approach that car. The 51 machine right there. Going to let them pass. That's Sean Valendia. There goes Jeremy Rogers hard into turn 1. And John will pull on over after that one. So I already seen Jared Kaler, Austin Farr. Let's run through a couple more drivers who you'll see. Another driver normally up here in the booth, Joshua Crane, representing the University of Michigan here tonight. He's an alumni, and normally in the CiL, alumni and students are split up between each other, but not tonight. Tonight, everyone in the same car, everyone in the same class. And we're just going to do battle the old-fashioned way. Whoever can win the race by the end of the night comes home the winner. So it should be fun. Got plenty planned here tonight. And that inversion continuing to be quite a fun topic to think about. Because if everyone goes for it, you're going to see the fast guys at the back here in that second feature race. And both of those races are going to be 25 minutes long. So a pair of 25-minute long races. And then we'll get right back to that racing action that we so love here on the CiL network. So we're watching Joshua Crane right now. Another driver, Jamie Lawrence from San Diego State University. He's back there in the number 17 car here tonight. And you can see that matte black paint scheme. Ripping around Road America. We've heard drivers talk about the grass. Some really don't like getting on the grass. Others quite don't mind it. These MX-5 Cup cars, not all that very powerful of a machine. They're going to output about 181 horsepower at 7,000 RPM. And on a car that doesn't weigh all that much, it can pick up a little bit. But it's not anything like a GTE car, or we even heard guys talking about the LMP2s they've been racing. Nothing like that. Race is quite different. And John spoke to it. The draft, quite important. It's a big wide car, so it punches a big hole in the air. And if you can get in that hole, you're going to be good to go as Jamie Lawrence wraps up that qualifying lap. We'll check in on Luis Diaz from FIU. FIU looking to come back in Season 3 with a great return. Luis, part of a kind of three-headed monster that FIU has sent to the CIL between him, Esteban Munoz, and Christian Gomez. The three of them have really stepped into their own here in the CIL and making the FIU esports team proud. Official club out there on campus, as a couple are. Austin Farr, University of Tennessee Esports. Big shout out to you guys tuning in, watching as well. But a lot going on for the CIL, and that's really cool to see. We also got to shout out Alejandro Vegas for setting up the University of Minnesota Motorsports program. So quite a wide range of guys. We've got alumni, we've got students, we've got official organizations. We've really got it all here tonight, and everyone you see is in some way affiliated with the CIL, whether it's actively racing or they're joining a friend racing. It should be a good time. So 14 drivers set down a lap. Still 4 more drivers yet to set a lap, so we should have 18 once we get the green flag here in a matter of minutes. Nicholas Daly also back there from UT Arlington, joining John D. Price. So UT Arlington, actually 2 drivers in this race. That's cool to see right there for that school. And we'll see if John's real-life experience in the Mazda will shine through. Sean Campbell laying down a killer lap, almost a second faster. We heard John mention being stuck in the toe a little bit, or giving him the toe rather. That you can see that difference in the lap right there. Scott Ratliff, we mentioned him, rocking his school's paint. You see it there, Pittsburgh State. No, that's not in the state of Pennsylvania, if that's what you're thinking. No. It's Pittsburgh State from the from the state of Kansas. So if that was on your bingo card, congrats, you just won. But a great looking paint scheme right there. Scott always doing a great job with the paints. He's done the CIL 24 hours teams paint, and the CIL endurance team set to take the streets of Silverstone here this weekend. So if you want more CIL action, be sure to tune in to that as we rock and roll from there. So Scott Ratliff laying down the 15th time here in the race. Jared Kaler actually going to pass John D. Price on the left side of your screen right there. And Scott kind of hung out to dry. I know drafting helps, so it's going to be tough to hop into the upper echelon of qualifying. We'll see if he can do it. As he's going to touch that grass. And we just mentioned the grass. Some guys like it, some guys don't like it, and that's going to be one of them. Flashing back to Josh Crane, who also is investigating the integrity of the grass in that 77 Valvoline Mazda. We'll go wide on the carousel and bring it back inside. Jake Drew, a new name here. He's going to set the 4th quickest time, so watch out for that. As well as Logan Kazi in the number 309 machine. And that looks like it is going to do it for qualifying here at Road America. So let's bring you that starting grid. As we get set to rock and roll. So Sean Campbell will be rolling off first from Randolph Community College. Second is going to be Jared Kaler from UNC Charlotte in the number 58 machine. Rolling off third here tonight is John D. Price in the number 8 from UT Arlington. And Jake Drew from Cal State Fullerton will roll off in 29th. Austin Farr from the University of Tennessee starts in 5th here tonight. And Kyle Bonin from Clemson University will roll off 6th. Carl Emcool, he is in his full motion rig, everybody. He will roll off 7th here tonight. Sean Valendia from UCLA starting in 8th. Jeremy Rogers, really sounded like Jeremy was learning the track as we listened in on practice quite a bit before we went live here. Watch out for him as he's been just kind of climbing his way up through the pack. Definitely don't count him out just yet. Jeremy Rogers from Texas A&M rolling off 9th. Joshua Crane, usually up here in the booth, he'll be down on the grid. He rolls off 10th here tonight from the University of Michigan. Jamie Lawrence from San Diego State in 11th. Logan Kazi from Carolina will roll off. Number 12 on the grid, number 309 on that car. Carrying on down your starting order, Luis Diaz will roll off 13th. Nicholas Daly from UT Arlington in 14th. Zachary Lindler from Clemson, second of two Clemson drivers here tonight, will roll off 15th. Derek Ekmanis in 16th. Scott Ratliff in 17th from Pittsburgh State. And Esteban Munoz from FIU rolling off 18th. And that will do it for your grid as we see Jared Kaler rocking on backwards a little bit, and we'll watch the grid fly on by here as we get set to go from Road America. The field stacked up behind that Porsche safety car. It should be a good one. They'll complete one revolution around Road America, and then we will take the green flag and be good to go. We'll get a good look at the field here. See Jake Drew in that Supreme machine. Don't count out that red car either. Jeremy Rogers just testing where exactly that bump is in the car in front of him. Derek Ekmanis in that Hulk machine, rolling off 16th. Scott Ratliff rounding out that field. So in terms of trouble areas, track is relatively clear of all those. There's a couple heavy braking zones, turn 1 being one of them, and the turn they're just going through is going to be another one of them, so watch out for that. But other than that, we've heard guys talk about being flat through corners, which means they're on the throttle for the entire extent of the corner. And it'll be interesting to see which corners they're able to take at that kind of full throttle speed as you get another great look from up above here at Road America. So through the carousel, they'll go to the kink next and down toward Canada Corner. Canada Corner, another one of those tricky corners, comes up on you quick. But in these cars, you can use a lot of curbing, which has been helping out a lot of the guys out on track. So another look inside the cars with John Price and Josh Crane. Josh racing in VR, John on the monitor. So you can see the difference right there. Josh able to turn his head, and he'll be able to see what he would be seeing if he turned his head, and John has a fixed monitor he's looking at. So different styles of racing, definitely, and there's definitely not one right way, so to speak. Personally, I love the monitor, but VR gives you a real sense of immersion. You get a sense of speed, and speaking of sense of speed, we're getting ready to go here from Road America, and it is gonna be a good one. So that pace car going to take the turn on the pit lane here, and the field will be in the hands of Sean Campbell in that number 3 car. So here we go, getting set to rock and roll. Sean Campbell leading them to the field. You see brake lights on, you see the field all stacked up, and here we go from Road America. It's the Price Pin-iata party in the CiL Challenge Series here at Road America, and boy, it's a parking lot out there on the start at the start-finish line. Campbell up to the top side. Price not going to give an inch on the low side. He's going to try and make a move here on lap number 1. He goes side by side with Kaler. They'll continue to battle as looking back in his rear view is Sean Campbell. He's got nothing to worry about. He's going to be out in front, able to take that apex, and Jared Kaler does as well. Price had to give it up, and right on his back bumper, Jake Drew in the number 29 machine. Down this long straightaway, another drafting package, and you see right there just how important that draft is. Kaler able to pull alongside of Campbell, and Drew alongside of Price. 2 by 2 heading toward this hard braking zone. They're 2 wide. Farr thought about sending it 3 wide. He thinks better of it. Jake Drew with a little bump pushes the 58 out of the way, and it could have a new leader heading down. Trouble back behind. That looks like Zachary Lindler, the Clemson driver. We'll have to take another look at what happened to him here in a moment once this settles on down, if it even does. Jake Drew now up in the lead, Jared Kaler following, and then it's Austin Farr and the pole sitter Sean D. Campbell, but now he's under attack from John D. Price. John Price hard in there. He has to get on the brakes hard. Carl Lemke on the brakes hard to stay out of his back bumper. Clean racing, but aggressive racing for a lot of the drivers, and here comes Sean Valendia in that 51. Valendia with a good move through the carousel. Tough spot to pass. Josh Crane looking on right behind. You see him door-to-door with Carl Lemke out in the grass, trying to hang on. You're on board with Price here. He thinks about going 2 wide in the kink, backs out of it, gives Valendia the spot. Up in front of Valendia, it's Campbell trying to close in on Austin Farr, but Jake Drew under attack from Jared Kaler as they head toward Canada Corner. Canada Corner, this hard braking zone. You saw Kaler on the grass. Kaler might want to lay a bumper on Drew again, and he's going to get a great run off. Jared Kaler up to the top spot. So you see at the top left corner of your screen, laps 1 of 15, or the time. We're most likely going to approach that 25-minute mark before getting to the lap marker, so pay attention to that. And the 58 trying to break up that draft, going all the way to pit lane. And he gets right back there. Jake Drew looking on. Austin Farr back behind him. That's your top 3 after lap 1. Drew peeks to the inside. He's got no help, though. Austin Farr staying on the top side. Maybe going to push the 58 a little bit. Thinks about going to the inside. He won't do it just yet, but Jake Drew, a great run. He's going to take the top spot once again here at Road America in turn 1. Behind him, Kaler under fire from Austin Farr. He's going to dive to the inside, try and take that in turn 2. Excuse me, turn 3. And I believe he will. They're going to be side by side heading down this long back straight. One in the 58 side by side. You know who loves to see that? It's Jake Drew up there in the top spot. He's going to be able to pull away just a little bit. And it's a 3-car draft train. It was the 51, the 3, and the 58. They all spread on out, fan on out. Carl Lemke driving it in deep in that Rusty's machine. That 195, I believe. Excuse me, the 095 back there. And trouble back behind. Driver off the track. It looks like possibly Linder again. Nick Daly had a little trouble. We'll have to see what exactly transpired there. And that might have been a little unlucky for Luis Diaz, as he was an unfortunate incident of iRacing netcode right there. So that's a tough break for Luis right there. As they're going to tow that machine back to pit lane. Back up toward the front, Austin Farr trying to chase down the leader Jake Drew. Sean Valendia with Sean Campbell right behind him. Campbell, the pole sitter, trying to battle his way back. John D. Price looking on back behind him. Maybe is kind of tailed off a little bit, letting things cool on down. And here comes Joshua Crane side by side with Lemke. And the 26 dives to his inside. That was Kyle Bonin from Clemson. He thinks better of it. John Price up in the grass. Up there, he'll come back on track easily. Lemke hanging on to the spot. Good racing right there by Carl from St. Louis University. You can just see the draft train continuing to form here as we head toward the front straightaway. Further on back in the pack You see Jamie Lawrence leading a gaggle of cars involving Logan Kazi, Jeremy Rogers, Derek McManus, Nick Daly, and Zach Linder trying to catch this group. Big move for the lead right here. Jared Kaler going to sneak his way to the inside. Austin Farr might make it 3 wide. Kaler just able to clear Jake Drew, but you see how exciting this draft makes it. The constant swapping of positions. And it's a group of 7 cars, 2 by 2, heading down this back straight. Big block right there by the 58 of Kaler. Austin Farr trying to make the move. Can't complete it just yet. The 3 on the outside, they're going to touch doors. A little bit of contact right there. The 3 able to survive it. And they're going to be 2 by 2 down in this hard braking zone. John Price looking on. He's got a car looking to this inside. This is Valendia. They're 3 wide. They're 4 wide. Back to 3 wide. It's a good little race up the hill. Oh, contact right there between Farr and the 3 of Campbell. They hang on. Little door slamming. Okay in these Miatas, and it's a good one. They're able to hang on, and John Price maybe got the best out of all of that, as he's now slid up to 3rd. Jake Drew in 2nd, trying to chase down Jared Kaler once again. Watch out now, Austin Farr in the number 1 machine. Looking on, looking to get back up there. Here comes a big move by Jake Drew. They're going to be side by side once again, heading to Canada Corner, and that's quickly proving one of the more interesting corners. And Jake Drew just sliding in deep. He's going to go well wide, and that's going to be trouble. He's going to lose 1, 2, 3 positions on that move. He's going to drop all the way back to 5th. And now John Price up in that 2nd spot. So Jared Kaler up against the top talents of the booth. Josh lurking in the background as well. So we'll see who can win it. Will it be the drivers? Will it be the commentators here tonight? We know John Price was in the pilot season behind the wheel. He was very quick. Road America, not a good track for him, though, as he spun off that final corner, running his race and his championship hopes. And that might have been what pushed him up into the booth with us. A 3-car battle here at the top spot. Jake Drew looking on as well. But Sean Campbell sticking his nose in there, trying to tag team this battle a little bit. Going wide as Price. Maybe opens his door for Farr a little bit. Farr not able to capitalize just yet. Kaler a little defensive line there. He wants to keep that top spot. It'll be followed by the 8 and the 1 machine of Price and Farr. Single file draft package down this long straight. 8 minutes into this 25-minute race. You can check that at the upper left corner of your screen. Big move right there by Price. He's going to force Kaler into that defensive line and try and take him on the outside. He's going to go wide. He's going to go very wide, but maybe able to hang on to that. Back behind Josh Crane a little bit wide as well. Looks like able to hang on still side by side right here. Kaler and Price door to door. Price just clears him. Price hops in the lead. Kaler right behind. Farr in 3rd. Drew in 4th. Campbell making up your top 5. Kaler wants to send it on the inside, gets the door slammed by Price, who comes right across the nose of the 58 machine as they head toward the carousel. Back behind, side by side, is going to be Austin Farr and the number 3 of Sean Campbell, your pole sitter here tonight in that Neon Racing machine. Neon Racing made up of a couple drivers from the CiL 24-hour team, doing a 24-hour team of their own. The Neon Racing, quite the group of drivers who've joined the CiL. Right behind him, you see a big battle right there. That's Kyle Bonin, Sean Valendia, Carl Lemkool, all mixing it on up. Austin Farr has dropped back as well into this battle, and up at the lead, it's going to swap once again. Jared Kaler up to the top spot. Well, he was for the moment. John Price with the inside line, able to make a big move. Jake Drew going to try and give him a push. John Campbell goes with Price. Boy, this is good racing right here. Price gonna have to slide in front of Drew. They're gonna try and go after Kaler, and down this front straightaway there is a lot of room to maneuver. Campbell, 2 wheels on the grass. He's going to make the move. He's going to force it maybe 3 wide. Here comes Price down to the bottom. Big block on the 58. And it's hard to keep up with this. Jake Drew sticks his nose in the middle. They're 3 wide going to turn 1. Will this work? It will. Jake Drew, big move for the lead. Price on the inside. And Kaler back to the outside. Austin Farr looking on back there in 4th position. He's looking for his room to attack. And this is tight racing right here between all these drivers. You can just see how important that draft is. I've said it once. I'm going to say it probably 20 more times before the night is over. It's been a good one. Boy, oh boy, what a gaggle of cars that is. You can see how bunched up everyone is. Kaler wants to jump to the middle, and he will. Price giving him the room on the outside. Price drives it in very deep. We'll see if he's able to hang on. He's going to go just a little bit wide, but look at how much speed he's able to carry through the corner. And here comes Drew back on the inside. Also on the inside was the 58 machine of Kaler. And you see he's able to jump up to that 3rd spot, sticks his nose in there trying to make it work, and he is battling that wheel right there. Sean Campbell also in the grass as well. Both of them able to survive that without any further damage. And boy, this is good stuff right here. Up at the top spot, it's Drew, Price, and Kaler all mixing on up. And you see that gap is going to quickly close once we get to that draft. The rest of this front pack, Sean Campbell, Carl Lemkuhl, Sean Valendia, Kyle Bonin, Esteban Munoz, and Joshua Crane making up this 10-car lead pack. '51 out on the grass a little bit there. That's Sean Valendia from UCLA. Price to the inside on Drew, and he'll get the move done right there. Slides right up in front of the 29 machine, and that's a good move by John right there. Really knowing how to race these cars and race them well. Kaler going to do battle, and here comes Carl Lemkuhl in that 095. He's kind of been hanging back a little bit, but now going to toss his hat into the ring as well. Lemkuhl on the back bumper of Austin Farr, and he's going to go to work in the number 1 machine. Price and Drew trying to pull away from this kind of secondary pack. Drew will pull out, and they'll go side by side into turn number 1. Jake Drew, his fastest lap of the race just now. Joshua Crane, his as well. Drew going to get the position from Price as they head into turn 1. Austin Farr trying to battle off Sean Campbell, but he will not do it. Campbell slides up into that 4th spot. But here comes Carl Lemkuhl on the inside. He's going to go door-to-door with the 1 of Austin Farr. And here comes Joshua Crane just behind. Crane trying to fend off the battle from the 51 of Valendia. Looking on as Esteban Munoz back there in the 9. They're going to go side by side down the long straightaway. Looking on the leaders who are also 2x2. 58 of Kaler going in very deep right here. He's going to try and get the inside again, and it's all about knowing where the other car is. Wide is Jake Drew. He's able to hang on to it. Price able to hang on to it. And you see all the cars fan out and get right back on track. Incredible driving by the front of this pack. Heading toward the carousel, you need a good run off right here, and Price will do just that. Slides up in front of the 58, but he's got a challenge from the number 3. That's Sean Campbell making his way back up toward the top spot. Jake Drew falling off just a little bit. They single file out through the carousel, now heading toward the kink. Into the kink, nobody going to go 2x2 here. That's going to be a tough day if you do that, but we've seen the drivers do some crazy moves. They might do it just yet. Sean Campbell, the big move on John Price right here, but Price on that inside, that preferred line. Kaler going to try and go even more inside. Price will hop in the line, slide across the 58's nose, and get right back behind the 3 machine. They go single file through Canada corner. And that kind of secondary pack, the one we mentioned with Crane, Valendia, Bonin, and Munoz, it's kind of caught this first pack. So it's going to be mixing and matching for the last 10 minutes of this heat race as we ride on board with Jared Kaler here. He's going to be on the back bumper of John Price, and you'll see the draft. It pulls him all the way to the back bumper. He's going to pull to the inside. Here, try and trap Price out on the outside. Maybe get some help from his buddy Austin Farr. We mentioned both of those oval drivers being top of their craft here in the CiL, and they're looking really good in the Mazdas on the road course. So don't be surprised if we see maybe Austin Farr dabble in a little road course action this season. 3 cars on the bottom and now 3 cars on the top, as Jake Drew just made a liar out of me, but he chooses that preferred line, that racing line. It looks like he got a very good run off. He's going to be side by side with Price. They try to chase down Campbell and Kaler, who've now inherited that front row. Campbell and Kaler side by side heading down to the hard braking zone right here. We've seen Price run it very deep and go very wide. Nobody really doing it that time. Josh Crane, John Valendia, and I believe Kyle Bonin have all stuck their nose up in this lead pack. We've lost a lot of the rest of the lead pack. I'm not quite sure what happened. Might have been a little trouble there for Esteban. We'll have to take a look here in a moment, then we'll get it. Yeah, here's the replay here. It looks like Munoz and Carl Lemkool just getting together a little bit. We'll take one more look at it here. Yeah, just a little racing incident between the 9 and the 095, and that sends Esteban into the wall hard. He's going to tow it back to pit lane, and that's why this lead group is a couple cars smaller after that incident. Back up in the lead pack as we keep rolling here from Road America. Sean Campbell out in the lead, but he's got help. Jared Kaler on the inside all by himself. There you go, side by side in Canada corner. Price now jumps to the inside, trying to help Kaler out. Price going to be door to door with Campbell. It's 3 cars all battling for the lead, but here comes Jake Drew. Wide on the corner for Kaler, but he's able to make it stick. Here comes Joshua Crane with a huge move. He's going to go 4 wide, 2 tires in the grass, but he's able to make it work. The 77 on the windshield following the number 8 of Price, and the 2 commentators are now in 2nd and 3rd trying to chase down the leader. Big move by the 77 there. We'll have to take another look at that one, as boy, that was fun. Let's see if we can get another look here for you. Watching the 77 machine goes low on Jake Drew. They bang doors. And he just sneaks on by. What a move right there. One more look at it here. So watching the 77 machine with a great run off the final corner. Dives low again, and just makes the stick. 2 tires in the grass toward that start-finish line. That is something else. 4 wide. Boy, essence of Dale Jr. is right. That was insane. Back live now, Jared Kaler and John Price mixing on up. Jake Drew leading the charge of this now 2nd pack, I guess we'll call it. Jared Kaler and John Price up there at the top spot. 1.4 seconds separating these 2 groups, so don't be surprised if we see this 2nd group. And here comes Josh Crane again on the inside. 3 wide at the carousel. I don't know if this is going to work. He's going to slide in front of Drew. Little contact right there. Little bump. They're able to survive it. And will they go 2 wide in the kink? Austin Farr thought about it. He's on the radio telling them they're going to go 2 wide back behind. It's Drew and Campbell. They sort themselves out. Everybody all discussing what's going on here in this race. Farr back behind. Farr going to dive to the inside. And he's not going to make that corner. He's going to lose a couple positions right there. Austin Farr dropping back. And here comes Joshua Crane now trying to make his way back. Jake Drew on the inside. So Crane made his way up, then losing a couple of positions here. Boy, it is give and take and give and take, and it just keeps getting better here. Sean Campbell leading the charge. He's got Jake Drew behind, Sean Valendia making up the top 5. And then it's Joshua Crane, Kyle Bonin, Austin Farr, and Jeremy Rogers making his way toward the top of the field. I mentioned Jeremy Rogers at the top of the broadcast. Don't count him out. And tell you what, don't count him out for sure. If he can catch that group right there, he's going to be looking pretty. But only about 4 minutes to go here in this first heat. We mentioned 2 25-minute races, so it's 2 sprint races. We've completed 9 laps. I'd imagine we go about 11 before we wrap this thing on up. So leader is starting to pull away now. Price thinks about going to the inside. He's going to give Kayla the lead for the moment. And we talked to John in pre-race, and I wonder if this is a little bit of his strategy. He said he does not want to be the lead car on the final lap. So you do wonder if that's playing into his mind just a little bit. Might have to go back and clip out Josh's pass and send that to the iRacing top 10 of the month, because that was insane. But also, there's so much more that's been insane as well. We saw a great move by John Price. We've seen Jared Kaler up there just wheeling it back and forth, sawing the wheels off. There's been a lot of great racing here. We're only through 22 minutes of the first heat, so we still got the feature race to come. Jake Drew's made some great moves as well, no doubt about that. In that all-red car, that supreme machine. He's looking quite supreme behind the wheel. He's going to try and chase down those leaders again. It kind of looks like the second group is saying, okay, let's figure it all out and pick it back up. They've lost about 0.2 of a second. That past lap was 1.4 seconds back. Now it's 1.6 seconds back. John Price up to the top spot as well. So we just missed that, so let's take you back through. Jared Kaler, a little trouble through Canada corner, and then they go side by side, and Price is able to take that lead away as they head back down. Looks like the white flag in the air from the flagman up top, so this will be the final lap of the heat race, and wouldn't you know it, John got his wish. He's in second place on the final lap. Back behind, dirt flying in the air. The 3 car hanging on to that third spot. Jake Drew right behind. And that's going to be an interesting race down this long back straightaway. I'm going to check in with the leaders, but pay attention to the guys right behind him. You see the heat haze coming off the track right there. Big push right there from Price. We'll see if he makes his move now or if he's going to wait until later in this lap. The 58 and the 8 going at it here. Price dives out a little bit, right back into the braking zone. He might be waiting for Canada corner again. He knows he made that move before. We'll see if he can make it again. Right back behind. Jake Drew mixing it up with the 51 of Sean Valendia. Valendia to the inside. Big move for the 51. We'll see if he can make it stick. But here comes the crossover from Drew. Thought he got a bumper in there. He might have. And that's why the 51 had to pull up a little bit. But a good move for Drew, and it looks like Drew going to have a great run off. Not quite able to catch the 51 just yet. Here comes the 77 of Josh Crane right behind. And look who's caught on up. Sean Campbell able to make his way behind John Price through the carousel. Good run for the number 3 machine. He's going to try and push the 8 as much as he can as they head towards the kink and down toward Canada corner. A healthy lead for the 58 machine, but only 0.7 of a second, so ground to be made up for Price and Campbell. We'll see if they stay civil or if they venture out and make this an exciting finish. Looks like they're going to stay single file. They head toward Canada Corner, hard on the brakes for the last time. The 3 machine getting plenty of curb. He's got a great run off. He's got a little run on the 8. You can see it there. Nowhere to go with it as he's going to be stuck behind the number 8's bumper. They're going to push and continue to push here, heading toward the final corner. Towards the final corner, Jared Kaler in the top spot. Little hiccup right there, but it looks like he is going to hang on to win the heat race. John Price will finish second. Sean Campbell in third. Jake Drew in fourth. Sean Valendia fifth. Kyle Bonin sixth. Joshua Crane seventh. Oh, and as soon as I said that, a little move there at the line almost took it away from Kyle Bonin. Austin Farr back behind. Jeremy Rogers finishing 9th. Jamie Lawrence will come away 10th. Nick Daly 11th. Zachary Lindler in 12th. And Scott Ratliff will round out the top 13. He's a little far, heading through the kink now. 48 seconds back, we saw Scott involved in one of those incidents a little bit earlier, so he had a little ground to be made up. And Carl Lemkool coming through the final corner one more time. But yeah, that was just the heat race. We got another one on tap for you, and now that everyone's pretty much knows how everyone's going to race, we'll do it again. But this time with the field inverted. So Jared Kaler will be starting last, John Price second to last, and you can see how exciting this is going to get as the guys in the back of the pack going to get a shot at it here in the feature race. A couple guys wrapping on up here on track. Scott Ratliff coming to that start-finish line now in that 747 machine. And he's going to wrap up this heat race 13th. Yep, the field is getting inverted for the feature. You see it on the left side of your screen right now. Jared Kaler and John Price will be starting all the way in the back, and everyone from the back starting in the front. So the field gets inverted from the heat race to the main race. Hey, we talked to John about that a little bit, but boy, did that look fun. So let's quickly pull Josh into the booth here. And Josh, the chat was thrilled with your 2 wheels in the grass there, that 4 wide move.
I thank you. I was pretty thrilled with it as well. I think I put in the Discord that my big warm up for this one was watching the Miata Guy Fun Road America race and learning the grass is a raceable surface. So we got 20 incident points. That's 20 fouls to give, and I'm going to get my money's worth tonight.
So how was that? That was first race. How was it for you in the 77 car?
Pretty good, really good. A couple notes there that we will pay attention to. Kind of hard to catch that pack, the 6-car, 7-car pack. Like once you lose a little bit of time, but that was all right because we inverted. Obviously, that's not going to be the case coming up here. So we'll pay attention to it. Part of it is over the run. I think as we burn some of that fuel off the car, and I overheat some of the tires or get them warm, doesn't like to turn in as much. There is no adjustable brake bias on these cars, so that's going to be something that I have to use a little bit of discipline as we get to the end of the race.
Definitely. So who's your partner, your dance partner in this one? We saw the need for a drafting partner. Who's your drafting buddy in this one?
Drafting is key, and I would argue you don't even get to choose. It's whoever's behind or in front of you at that time, and you're kind of at the mercy of one who might decide to pass. Like Esteban wanted to pass me at one point in that race, but Sean and Austin Farr both pushed me other times. Or you can assert a drafting partner. I'm pretty sure Austin Farr wanted to get around me a couple times there, but I decided I didn't want that at that point in time. So yeah, there's a couple ways to do it. Really, no formula, and nothing's guaranteed. It's not maybe like Talladega where your spotter's making deals up on the box. It's body language dance. It's all body language.
Definitely. Well, a lot of fun still on tap. So go put on a show for us. All right.
I'm gonna try. I got to keep the fenders on it and keep my fouls for the end of the race. I think we might have some 4Xs here.
Well, you got something to give after that heat race, so good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so that was Josh Crane. And like we mentioned, guys normally joining me up in the booth, they're out on the track here tonight. So John and Josh, you see right there. Josh in the VR headset. John on his monitor as well. So pace car heading around Road America for one more time before we get set to wrap this one up. Like we mentioned, it's going to be the same format as that heat race, 25 minutes in length. You'll see the time adjust accordingly once they take the green flag here in a moment. But boy, good racing that first heat. And it's going to be hard to top that, but I think we'll see it here in this final race. Logan Kazi and Derek Ekmanis have put the cars behind the wall, so we won't get to see them in this feature race. Luis Diaz and Esteban Munoz on the top row here, both FIU drivers. We mentioned FIU Esports a little bit earlier. Hopefully they're tuning on in and watching their guys take the top spot here. We talked about the strategy. There is legitimately strategy to hanging back in that heat race and then jumping on the invert and maybe trying to pull away here as we see those two, and maybe if they can get help of maybe a Scott Ratliff, a Carl Lemkool, someone else, maybe try to pull away. Josh just mentioned it, how hard it is to catch like a 6-7 car breakaway. So maybe if they figure things out, talk together a little bit, they might be able to pull off that breakaway. Definitely pay attention to the guys we saw up there at the front. Jake Drew, Jared Kaler, John Price, Sean Campbell. Really any of those names are names liable to just charge through the field and be able to take the win here in the feature race. So it's pretty fun to be able to see what they got from the back of the pack to the front, but don't count out these front guys either. So Luis Diaz gonna lead us to the green flag.
Green flag.
Green flag, and we are racing once again here at Road America. You see the leaders, Munoz sliding on off, Carl Lemkool right behind, and Luis Diaz did not get a good jump. I don't quite know what happened there, but he's been shuffled back to third. And here we go, everyone trying to hang on. But here comes Carl Lemkool charging in the 095. He's got a big run there on Munoz. Nowhere to go with it. Munoz slams the door, and he's going to have to settle for second for the time being. Lemkool back in the draft package. 2 sets of 2 cars drafting. It's Munoz and Lemkool, and then Diaz and Ratliff heading down this long back straight. Back behind him, you see cars really mixing up. You already see Price jumping out there with Jake Drew right behind him as well. The 095 to the inside all alone. Maybe a little early turn in by Munoz, but all's well that ends well. Cars make it all out safe. Back behind it's a hornet's nest. They're going to try and just pull away from these guys while they can. A little trouble for the 747 machine. Scott Ratliff going to loop it on around. Trouble for him. Back behind, it's a huge stack up right there. Big trouble right there. That's a 17. Jamie Lawrence, Zachary Lindler, and Jeremy Rogers all stacked up. And you see that new damage model right there. And we'll see what happened on this one. Jamie Lawrence in hot and car spinning in front. And then it just turns into a parking lot right there. And that is a tough break for a lot of those drivers. Heading to pit lane is Lawrence and Lindler. I believe Rogers is going to be able to limp that thing on around. It looks like it indeed, but doing it on a very hurt car. So back to the front of the pack. Lemkool in the lead. Munoz in second. Diaz in third. And they've pulled away after that, but look behind him. It's Austin Farr, John Price, and Jake Drew. Next 3. And Sean Campbell throwing his name into the mix right there. They took no time chewing through the field. Only 1.5 laps. As we're on lap 2, 2 minutes in to a 25-minute race. Down the front straight, trouble back there. I think that's Sean Valendia. And it is a little trouble for him. We'll see if we can see if he was helped. Hard to tell from that angle. We'll get you another angle here momentarily. Yeah, clipped a little of the curb, then clipped a little of the 3 car. Just hard to save the 51 machine. You see Price and Farr doing a little battle. Further on back, Nick Daly kind of at the tail end of this field. And there's Josh Crane. We saw some cheers for him. And he's lost the draft just a little bit. But you see it right there. 3.5 seconds back of the leader. Or excuse me, of that draft package. So he's got some ground to make up. He will need some help there. Back toward the front. Esteban Munoz coming back. He's going to try and make a big move, and so does John Price. Whoa! Slides it on in there and makes it stick. What a move for the 8 team, but Jake Drew coming back as well. Drew with a big move right there. He's going to sneak by Diaz, as does Austin Farr. A couple of great moves by them. Esteban up there at the tops, or at the second spot, holding off Price for the time being. Carl Lemkuhl just trying to pull away, run away as best as he can. Munoz in second, holding on to that second spot. Price in third, and Drew in fourth. Austin Farr rounding out your top 5 as they run currently. Carl Lemkuhl running away on the side of your screen. John Price trying to make a big move right here. Heading to the inside. We'll see if he can get it done. Looks like he will. Big move right there. Munoz sliding, trying to do the crossover. And he might get it done. Door to door with the 8. They're going to think about going 3 wide. Price backs out of it. Drew on the inside. Now going to try and pick up the spot on Price. He's going to get forced off the track a little bit. They'll still be 2 wide going into the final corner. Price very wide now. Jake Drew able to hang on to the spot. Austin Farr slides in. And that's trouble for John Price. He's shuffled to the back of this pack. And he'll have to make his way back up through it. Could be good news for Josh Crane, however, is that pack going to be slowed down just a tad. As we're going to try and figure out what's going on with the scoring tower here. As it gets kind of caught on back up. But Carl Lemkuhl should be scored your leader. See if we can fix that on for you here momentarily. Big move right here by Jake Drew. He's heading to the inside of Munoz. Munoz tries to slide on in, but Austin Farr going to stick his nose in there as well. Not giving the spot. Actually, Munoz going to hang on right there. Another good move from Munoz. So he's having really late apexes, which is really helping his drive off. You're seeing the number 9 machine maybe enter the corner a little bit later than some of these other cars, but you see the drive off of the corner that he's getting is unreal. Able to keep the car behind, coming off. As soon as I say that, Austin Farr with a great drive off. You see all the cars come flying on through. Heading toward the carousel now. Sean Campbell just looking on in that number 3 machine. Poised to strike. Jake Drew now trying to chase down Carl Lemkuhl, who's up there in the top spot. Once again, not quite sure what's happening with the scoring tower on the left side of your screen, but Carl Lemkuhl is the leader, followed by Jake Drew and Esteban Munoz. Jeremy Rogers kind of at the tail end of this pack, so we'll try and figure out what's going on there in terms of the scoring tower. 37 machine, that's Zachary Lindler, going to go a lap down to the leader here. But Carl Lemkuhl, Carl having a great drive himself. The 095 machine kind of hanging on to that top spot. Jake Drew trying to close in. We'll see if he can catch him on this straightaway. And there goes the scoring tower all fixed on up for you now. as Lemcool dives to the inside, and can Drew make it work? All over the back bumper of that Lightning McQueen paint scheme on the 095. Lemcool just trying to hold on here. All the way to the back bumper they go. Drew with a big move right there to gain a bunch of time. Now only 1/10 of a second back. They'll go side by side down the back straight as that big group back behind looks onward. Side by side they go. Who can break later? Who's going to give? They do go side by side. Drew going quite wide, but tons of speed through mid-corner. What a move there by Drew as he goes the long way around and up into the top spot. Good move for the 29. Lemcool going to try and battle on back now. Unable to do it just yet. But he's going to be in the draft, and that's so key. Just keep that draft. Keep moving forward. For the 095, we saw it in the heat race. You did not want to be first. Come closing time. Back behind, looked like a little bit of trouble back there. That's going to be the 37 of Zachary Lindler. Up into the wall. Joshua Crane sneaking on by as well. We saw some cheers for Josh. He's got some ground to make up. 3.1 seconds to catch the tail end of this pack. A little further up, Sean Campbell and Austin Farr doing a little battle, and another battle for the lead here. Carl Lemcool, Jake Drew, that big draft playing a factor. The 095 will see what he can do. Can he keep the 29 back behind him, or is the 29 going to pull the crossover? It looks like he's got it. Can he complete it? Not yet. Still working on it. And he's going to go the long way around again, heading toward that final corner. Ducks back in behind the 095. But you see the one car closing on in. That's Austin Farr still back there. Trouble for Sean Valendia, Scott Ratliff, and Zachary Lindler. We'll take another look at this one. Valendia on the 51 going at it with the 37. I think we might just have a racing incident right here. Yeah, two cars just coming together with force. That's a tough break for them. Back live. Lightning McQueen, the 095 of Carl Lemcool, hanging on that outside of Jake Drew. Big move for Drew as he's able to slide in front of Lemcool, but here comes Austin Farr. Austin Farr in the number 1 machine, and right behind you see looking on Jared Kaler and John Price at the tail end of this group. But don't count out Sean Campbell as well. He set the pole position for a reason. He is quick here. Carl Lemcool just trying to get shuffled back in line. Jared Kaler doesn't want to give him any space. They might go 3 wide. They might go 4 wide. Instead, they think better of it. They're going to go 2 wide for the time being. Jake Drew trying to pull away, but he's got a hornet's nest of 5 cars. Campbell, Farr, Lemcool, Kaler, and Price all looking onward, trying to catch this leader. And we heard it from Josh. It's very hard to catch this group once they get mixed up. So Munoz, Bonin, Diaz, Daly, Crane, they all need to work together, try and make their way up through the field. I tell you what, you blink and you're going to miss quite a bit here, as there is tons of action to be had, and we're only 12 minutes in to this 25-minute race. So right at the halfway mark, just about, as we continue to roll here at Road America. Jake Drew up in the top spot. Sean Campbell has moved into second. Austin Farr third, and they make up your podium positions. Kaler towing the 095 of Lemcool, and Price looking onward as well. We'll see if Price goes for a move right there. He's loved Canada Corner as a passing opportunity. Won't do it just yet. And up in front, it's now going to be a single file line as they get ready to head toward that long front straightaway. And we heard John talk about it in pre-race. You can be 0.8 of a second back and be side by side by turn 1. That's how powerful the draft is in this front straight. Big move for Farr there, all the way to the back bumper of the 3 of Campbell. They're able to survive it and move on as we head down that long front straightaway. We'll see if anyone can challenge Drew heading into turn 1. Campbell in second will have the first shot at it. You see the big toe. Drew maybe trying to force a pick, and it looks like they're not going to force the issue just yet. 13 minutes into this 25-minute feature race. Back behind, Lemcool to the low side on Kaler. We'll see if he can get that move done. Sliding the tires of that MX-5 Cup car. And you can do that. They are on racing slicks. So tires are able to do that. And they'll get worn down as tires do. But back up in front. Jake Drew hanging on. Sean Campbell with a big push from Austin Farr. Drew will take the defensive line. Campbell to the top side. He'll pass Drew for the time being in terms of nose to nose. But we'll see if Drew all the way to the outside. He's going to force the 3 really wide. The 3 giving plenty of space. Drew, a big mistake right there. He's going to get loose. He's going to drop a couple of spots. And now he's got to battle his way back to the front. Just got a little bit loose right there. A little too aggressive on that input. Maybe a little door banging between Kaler and Price. Price gets shuffled out of line. Gets right back on in. Campbell now to the top spot. Campbell the top spot, but Price is going to be under attack from Lemcool here, who's under attack from Drew. Pretty much all these drivers is continuing to go at it, but Campbell in the top spot in that Neon Racing machine. We mentioned their success in the 24-hour race is currently leading the country in the 24-hour, if I am correct, and I believe I am. Otherwise, we're going to fire our intern again. But Sean Campbell up there in the top spot. Austin Farr in second. Jared Kaler in third. And you see the battle raging on. This is going to be the battle for the win. These 6 cars rounded out by Jake Drew, who's going to sneak on by Carl Lemcool here on the top side. Lemcool on the inside hard. Late on the brakes, and a good by Lemcool to hang on to that. But up toward the top spot, look at this, a new leader, Austin Farr. We are getting confirmation that Neon Racing is first in the world. So yeah, pretty good drivers we got taking the wheel here. Neon Racing back there in third now with John Price right behind. Here comes Jared Kaler. He wants a slice of that lead. They're side by side right at the start-finish line. 10 minutes to go here from Road America. Kaler will take the lead. Slides on in. Dives on down in turn 1. Back behind Sean Campbell, using up all the track and more. As you see him get on the grass just a little bit. Jake Drew is snuck by Carl Lemcool. He's now up to 5th. And this nose-to-tail racing continues to rage on here at Road America. Side by side, it's going to be 2 wide. Will it be 3 wide? Big push by Price right there. What a move by the 8 machine, as he's going to push Kaler all the way to the lead and then some. Kaler trying to take that defensive line. Price just trying to give him the push to get by everyone else. But Campbell holding on the top side. Really strong move for Sean Campbell right there. He's up the hill. Always a tricky braking zone. I'm holding my breath through there. I can only imagine these drivers in this nose-to-tail package of 6 cars. Boy, this is a good one. Kaler, Campbell, Price, Farr, top 4. And don't forget Jake Drew hanging back there in 5th. Maybe saving his stuff a little bit. Don't forget these tires. Going to be pretty hot here as we take a look at the weather on the right side of your screen. 111 degrees out there on the track right now. So these tires will heat up. They will wear a little bit. So maybe Drew doing a little bit of that. Drew looking to the inside. Who he thought about it. He wanted to go side by side in the kink. Slides back in. He might make his move here heading toward Canada Corner. Field fans on out. Everyone picking a dancing partner here. Nobody goes with the 3 machine just yet. We'll see if Farr does. It looks like he will. He thinks about going to the middle. Eventually slides in behind the 3, and he's got help from the 29 pack behind. But here comes Carl Lemkool again, sliding it in there, really making it work for him. And they'll be side by side heading toward these final couple of corners. Taylor still holding on to lead. Campbell right behind. But here comes Price back there on the inside. He's going to sneak by Farr once again. Up in the third. Now Farr is going to have a mirror full of the 29 machine of Jake Drew. Jared Kaler just continuing to look on. Big bump right there from the number 3 team. And a big move from John Price right there. He's to the inside. And he's going to slide up into that second position. Austin Farr making his way by Campbell as well. Campbell might be kind of using up those tires. You see Jake Drew in the 29 machine looking on. And watch this suck up he's going to get. You're going to watch these cars just pull on up to each other. Jared Kaler out to a healthy 4/10 of a second lead, but that's going to close quickly in this draft. Here comes Austin Farr down to the bottom side, and here comes Sean Campbell to the more bottom side. Campbell thinks better, but pulls back behind. Farr in a little deep trouble. Farr goes around, Drew goes around, and Jared Kaler able to make it out. It's a 3-car battle now with about 5 minutes to go. Let's take another look at that one very quickly. Austin Farr went to the inside of John Price. And just in a little too deep. Couldn't get the car rotated. Collided with Jared Kaler. Sends it around. And Jake Drew also involved in that. One more look at it before we get you back to live action. And that's tough. Guys going for the gap. And we talked about the worn tires. The Warrior breaks down a little bit too. So a tough break for these drivers. One more last look at it from high up above here at Road America, thanks to our drone camera. Here, and you see it just in deep, and he tried. He was on the brakes trying to make that thing stop and just couldn't get it throttled on down enough. So Austin Farr shuffled back to 7th. Jake Drew right behind him in 8th. But here is the 3-car battle for the win. It's Jared Kaler, John Price, and Sean Campbell. Jared Kaler took a hard hit on the side of that machine. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's maybe lost a little bit of its integrity, but it actually looks quite good as you see it on your screen right there. But 3-car battle for the win. 5 minutes to go, so it's right around 2 laps to go here. They'll probably receive the white flag next time by, if I'm not mistaken. So keep that in mind. All the drivers trying to play this game of chess. When do I make my move? When do I not make my move? Nicholas Daly and Joshua Crane, a little bit of an incident as well. You might notice them shuffle down the order as we continue here at Road America. You see the mirror on the number 3 car just kind of hanging off at this point. These cars beat and battered and battle worn. They're still as quick as can be. Sean Campbell with a great run off. He's going to get a huge run. And the 8 going to try and slide in back behind him. A little bit of a gap back there to Price. We'll see if we can close that in Canada Corner. We've seen that be his spot. A good run here. The 58 hard on the inside. Hard on the brakes on the inside. A little bit of curbing right there. You saw the 58 jump up a little bit. And that may be going to compromise his exit a little bit. Sean Campbell up to the top spot. But another good run for the 58 on the inside. And I think Price knew he was going to be good in that corner, as he dove right behind Kaler, and both of those drivers able to make it through. Oh, trouble right behind. That's Esteban Munoz and Kyle Bonin getting collected right there as they headed towards the carousel. And you saw right there, Esteban with that late exit just gets on the grass. And we talked about it. The grass can be very dangerous or very not dangerous. And right there it proved very dangerous. at the unfortunate expense of Munoz and Bonin. So both those drivers able to get back on track and hang on to 4th and 5th for the time being. But here comes John Price trying to get a win for the commentary team here. He's trying to fend off champion and Jared Kaler. So we heard John talk. I don't want to be in the lead on that final lap. We'll see if that white flag is waving in the air as they come to the start-finish line. 58 machine hanging right behind that 8. Price trying to break up the draft as best as he can as they head toward that start-finish line. White flag in the air. We saw the flagman waving it right there. Price back to the top spot by the 58. Giving him no room to move. Big block by the 8 machine, but the 58 unfazed by it. He's going to be on the inside as they head towards this back straight. Not a lot of room to maneuver, but Kaler on the inside. Good move for Kaler. And the 3 machine of Campbell going to slide in. Thought behind him, but actually Price able to hang on the outside. He's going to get help from Kaler, maybe forcing that help as we heard from Josh. Kaler wants to go to the inside. Price with a mirror full of Jared Kaler. Nothing he can do about it. They're going to go 3 wide heading into this hard braking zone. We'll see what happens. The number 3 machine with a good exit going for the full crossover. Price using all the track. He's using the gravel. He's using the grass, and he's able to keep that machine on track. Jared Kaler with a good run right here. Boy, oh boy, is it fun. Kaler back to the top spot. Price right behind. Campbell right behind him. 3 cars locked in a room together. Kaler, Price, and Campbell, your top 3. Refusing to go down as anybody. Everybody all over the radio having a ton of fun here at Road America on this white flag lap. Kaler going to hold on to the lead into the kink. Who's going to come out of Canada corner with the top spot? Price going a little wide in the kink, but carrying a ton of speed. Campbell getting forced off the right side of the track just a little bit, able to hang on in the number 3 machine. He wants the low side. Big block right there from Kaler, but that's going to give Price that preferred line on the top side if he can get it done. He'll continue on. They're going to touch doors, maybe, perhaps. Campbell pushing, trying to get Kaler up to the front. Here we go. We're going to have a 3-wide battle for the win. Kaler, a little bit of slip right there. Big move for Price. He's going to hold the top spot. Can he clear the 58? Not quite just yet. Big run right there. Little slip heading down the front straightaway. We're going to have a photo finish right here. Can Price block it on off? Heading toward that start-finish line. Big move right here for Sean Campbell, the number 3 machine. Down to the finish line. Photo finish, and I think Sean Campbell is going to win by the skin of his teeth, and he will right there by 0.3 of a second. Or excuse me, 3/100ths of a second. Boy, was that fun. Let's take another look at that finish because that was something else. Holy cow. There at the end. We'll get a good look at it here. You can see the 3 machine close on Price and then gets the run, gets the help from Kaler, and gets it done. Wow. One more look at it here from the number 3 machines on board. I thought he was going to get blocked the entire way, but Price gave him just enough of the outside. He was able to make it work. And boy, what a finish that was here at Road America. Let's take one more look at it from high up above Road America, because I don't think we can get enough of this finish here. I thought it was going to be Jared Kaler right there. Price able to get just enough of a run off, and then here comes the race to the start-finish line. Price blocks, but just enough. What a move right there by Sean Campbell. You couldn't have fit much more than his car in that spot. He was able to make it work, got the push right there, and that's how this one ends. Whew! We can all exhale now, huh? Boy, was that a fun one. Gutsy move is right. Let's take one more look at it from Kaler's point of view, because I'm sure that's going to be just as fun. Looking at Jared Kaler right here, wheeling and dealing and just kind of hoping to get some help. And here comes Sean Campbell. Wow. Wow. Then the celebratory slam into the tire barrier. Fortunately, we don't have car bills to pay after that. But boy, that was woof. Something else, guys. So let's take a look at the final standings here. After that one. Possibly. Here we go. From your feature race here tonight with the inverted field and everything, Sean Campbell comes away winner by .027. Sheesh, that is close right there. That's about as close as it can get. Here, John Price back there in second. Jared Kaler will come away third. Kyle, whose name I apparently mispronounced all night long, so we're going to work on that. It's Kyle Bonin from Clemson University coming away fourth. Austin Farr from Tennessee in fifth. Luis Diaz in sixth. Joshua Crane in seventh. Esteban Munoz in eighth. Sean Valendia in ninth. And in 10th, Nicholas Daly rounding out your top 10. Carrying on and finishing your order, Scott Ratliff in 11th. Jeremy Rogers in 12th. Zachary Lindler in 13th. Jake Drew drops all the way back to 14th. After that, Carl Umcool in 15th. Jamie Lawrence in 16th. And Logan Kazi and Derek McManus rounding out your field. And it looks like we're joined up in the booth with the leader going into the final, or not the leader going into the final lap. But John, talk us through that final lap, because it was a fun one up here in the booth.
Yeah, I mean, I said it to the guys before we started racing that you don't want to be leading on the last lap. And I fell victim to that multiple times, I think, today. And I just really had no option there coming out of turn 14. And Sean got a great run out of it. Normally, what I would want to do in that situation is kind of park my car there on the apex and stop him from getting a great exit. But unfortunately, Jared went for a little bit of a late move up the inside there, and I had to defend that. And so I compromised my own exit. And Sean just was able to nail it to the line and .027 of a finish. I mean, that's pretty typical in MX-5 Cup cars in real life for anybody that's watched them. But it was a fun race the entire time through. That last lap itself, even the last 5 laps, really where it was just Sean Campbell, Jared Kaler, and I was pretty fun from the driver's seat. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, so walk us through that final corner. Did you think that Sean had room in between you and Jared? Because there was not much, I'll tell you that.
Did I think? Well, now I got to go pull it up on my replay here. So patience while I do that. But yeah, I wasn't quite sure what Sean was doing. It was a little bit of a mystery where Sean was going to go for that, because I was focusing mostly on Jared. So as I'm watching it back now, so yeah, Sean waited to get to that throttle is what it looks like, and so he's on throttle well before either Jared or I could get to it. And so he's just got a massive run out of that corner. Yeah, Sean played that perfectly. I don't think he could have done that any better.
Yeah, what a move that was. And
And then there was just enough room between the cars, between Jared and I, to squeeze in on the left-hand side because I was trying to defend down. So well done, Sean.
yeah, it was tight there at the end. But we saw a little dust up between a couple drivers. I forget who was involved in that, but Jake Drew got the worst of it. Where were you during that wreck?
Do you remember what lap that was on? Was that sort of towards the start?
It was right in the middle.
'Cause-
Let's.
okay, because I did avoid a wreck coming out of turn 6, and I think it was lap 2 that it happened. I'm watching, or maybe lap 3 even, but yeah, that one was a little bit hectic. Somebody got turned coming out of turn 6, and I just luckily had an open lane to go to the right, straight to the outside. Didn't even have to lift for it, and so I made up probably 3 or 4 positions when that happened. But I'm not sure. I'm looking for the wreck.
It was Austin Farr heading into the side of Jared Kaler, who was right in front of you, and able to just, like you said, just keep driving.
Yeah, I got very lucky with that one, if anything. And that's kind of the name of the game sometimes with these MX-5 Cup cars, is you just have to have a little bit of luck and a little bit of skill at the same time. So at the start, a lot of it's luck. You know, the positioning's all over the place. Everybody's darting left and right. It's really hard to pick your spot on the track and then have enough vision forward to know where you're going to brake for that next corner. And so it's a little bit of luck there, and then towards the end, it probably transfers over a little bit to the skill domain, I'd say. You really have to rely on every last ounce of talent you may or may not have even to get across that finish line.
Definitely. Well, I think the boys might be asking for MX5 Cup cars in the Road Series after this one.
Yeah, man. I would not be at all surprised by that. Yeah. How was it watching up here in the booth? I imagine that was a pretty fun one to commentate.
I tell you what, there's never a lack of action. I felt like I didn't breathe for a full 50 minutes long. But tell you what, we called both white flags, so we knew what was coming, and both white flag laps were unbelievable in both races. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you know, I'll be honest, coming into the second race with the inverted field, I was optimistic, but I didn't really think it would be Sean, Jared, and I again up there at the front by a good margin back to behind. And you know, a little bit of that circumstantial, but man, I mean, credit to those two guys to be able to push through that and get up there. But yeah, that was a heck of a race. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
So one driver who definitely had pace and just kind of got on the unlucky side of that luck, Jake Drew in that 29, that red Supreme machine. Did you have a plan to attack him if he stayed with that group, with your group up at the front?
You know, great question. And the problem is that so many things happen in this race that I can't really remember what my plan would have been had we, if we were even able to go back there. But you know, you just kind of take things as they come in races like these. You try to capitalize on opportunities where they appear in front of you. You try to defend where you know you have to, but not too much, because that's obviously going to cost you a lot of time. I imagine that Jared, Sean, and I's lap time on those last 2 to 3 laps were probably pretty slow because we were spending so much time battling each other. But in the end, it didn't matter all that much. So yeah, your plan has to be adaptable above all else. And a lot of that's going to come from driving style. Guys that drive a lot of MX-5 Cup cars will know where you can and cannot push this sort of car. You can really push it down into turn 5. And that's where I made up a lot of positions, I think, this race. Turn 8's less of an opportunity, even though it looks like the same kind of corner. It just doesn't have the same sort of benefits as far as an overtake. So, yeah, if you've got an adaptable plan, you'll tend to be successful up here.
Definitely. So, joining us possibly now, there he is, Jared Kaler, joining up in the booth as well. And Jared, we were just talking to John about that battle there at the end. And was it as much fun for you on the track as it was for me up here in the booth? It's rendered him speechless.
Yeah, a little bit speechless. I can understand that. I was rendered speechless by his livery most of the night and watching the back end of it, but, you know, it happens sometimes. I see Josh Crane running in the FSAE simulator with the full VR rig. I like it. I like it. That's the driving style I would go for if I had the choice. Maybe not quite the driving style, driving a position for an MX-5 Cup car, but, you know, to each their own, I guess.
Jared, you got a copy there?
Hello?
There he is.
Here we go. Okay, I got it worked out.
Love it. Well, at least you're better at driving than you are at voice chat.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I was talking to John about those last couple laps, and they were just fun to watch. Were they as much fun for you, just the jockeying and constant chess match going on?
Oh yeah, the whole race was a blast. Even the first race, I thought the first race was a lot crazier and chaotic than compared to the second one. But yeah, that whole race was just a blast. And these MX-5s are so great with the draft, especially on these bigger tracks where you have these long straightaways. It really allows a lot of people to stay clumped together and make those crazy moves like what we were seeing.
What was your plan going into that final corner? I know John told us his plan was park it on the apex, and then you incurred that plan. So going into that final corner, was it just send it in and see if you can get a bumper there?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted the lead. I wanted the lead coming out of Canada corner. I knew whoever was leading coming out of there was probably going to be the one that could maybe get the best run out. Obviously, that didn't happen. Sean was able to get that nice run out of the final turn, but I was hoping to try and get a bumper under there, but I didn't quite get far enough aside him to do that.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit worried I defended that too aggressively, and you're just gonna turn me there, and I would not have blamed you had you done that. But I think we both played perfectly into Sean's hands there. He just kind of waited for us to sort it out, and then he just got back to the throttle really early, and it worked out for him. Despite having a door mirror hanging off the entire race, it looks like. But you know, these MX-5 Cup cars, they're pretty durable.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the damage waddle on these cars seem like it's kind of more visual than like actual physical damage until a certain point. Then like when your bumper starts coming off, then that's an issue. But I really love like the attention to detail with those like mirrors hanging off.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, and that absolutely happens in real life too. And the other thing that absolutely happens in real life is all the bump drafting that maybe some of the viewers saw tonight. It's like that the entire race, and it's absolutely mandatory. You have to work with people in the group to sort of work your way up to the front. I know that's what you and Sean were doing, and as well as Austin Farr out there as well. And the cars don't mind at all. They're pretty stable under bump draft. You can get a good 6-mile-an-hour pickup just from the single tap. And, I mean, that's what almost pushed me to the win in the second race, but not quite. But, yeah, the bump drafting physics in here are great. The drafting physics themselves are pretty great for these MX-5 Cup cars, and it's just worth so much time over the course of a lap.
Yeah, I mean, there were those couple times where you were probably going 10 miles an hour faster than me. I'm like, oh, man, I'm going to get turned right here, and you hit me. I'm like, oh, okay, it's nice and calm. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I think sometimes some guys aren't expecting it, and they try to, you know, maybe anxiously defend that. I'm like, no. I just want to push you. Don't you worry. We're going to the same place. Don't worry. But yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I was in a call with Austin, and he was like, "Man, we're coming 15 miles an hour faster than you. Better hold on."
So while I got you both here, favorite moment, single moment of the race, either race, heat race or the feature race for each of you. And John, I'll start with you.
All right, I don't remember what lap it was, but I think Jared noticed it because he called it out in the in-game chat that I had an outside pass into turn 5 where everybody was kind of going 3 wide in that corner, and I was just like, well, you know, there's some space on the outside here. We'll see what happens. And I think I was able to pass 2 cars by doing that. For out of my personal, you know, favorite moves, that one's up there. But you gotta say that like that whole last lap was pretty entertaining.
Yeah, for me, I think there were 2, maybe lap 5 or 6 of the heat. There was a point with Jake and you, John. You guys were up front, and then I kind of just sliced it down through the middle of 3 wide. I was picking some moves off of Jake when he was going 3 wide wherever he could, and I was like, oh, you know, there's a gap there. I'll just take it, and went 3 wide down the middle. And then I think another great move was, or one of my favorite moves, was the final lap going into turn 3 or 4. When I was pushing you down the back straightaway, and then I peeked out to the 3 wide to the bottom, and I made it stick and pass both you and Sean.
Yeah, that was a really smooth pass. I remember watching that. I was like, there's really nothing I can probably do here if he was able to get it hooked up on the apex, and you absolutely did. That was an excellent move.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, the race was definitely full of excellent moves, both the heat race and the feature. So as we wrap this one on up, any final things either of you want to say to the fans at home?
I mean, for me, just be sure to tune in on August 31st, I believe, Jarrett, for the first official race in the CiL starting up Season 3. I forget the track that we're going to, but it's going to be road course cars and GT3 cars. And, you know, if you enjoyed watching this, it's going to be a lot faster cars, a little bit nicer sounding cars, maybe not quite the whole bumblebee sound thing that these guys like to produce, but you know, still some good racing either way, so make sure to tune in then.
That'll be at Daytona, the road course, for those of you wanting to know. Jared?
Daytona. That's Jared, where you won the championship that first pilot season, I think. So you're probably looking forward to that, I would bet.
That is correct. But yeah, just to add on, John, I'm really hoping to get the season off to a great start, and really looking forward to getting back in action that week, and then the following week doing the oval stuff. That's going to be a blast as well. So make sure you tune in to both the road and oval series.
Definitely. I couldn't have said it better myself. Hopefully, you guys at home and watching this back after the fact enjoyed it as much as we did. Big shout out to these guys coming up and joining us here post-race. And like they said, be sure to tune in August 31st as we head to the Daytona road course. Until then, we'll see you guys soon. And